On this video, we're going to continue working on headings, but this time around, we're going to cover multi-level headings, which is a bit more finicky than regular headings, and we're also going to cover how to insert just the basic table of contents. So whenever you're dealing with the multi-level headings, that is, you're going to be adding chapter headings and subchapter headings. You're going to need not a regular numbered list, but actual multi-level list, which you see right here on the top. Some people would mistakenly add these as a number list. So say that, this one I set out to a number list. This one I'll also make it to a number list. So they seem to be connected somehow, right? One is numbered as 1, the other one is numbered as 2. But then if I further try to indent this, or maybe try and make this into a subchapter of this, that won't work because this type of list doesn't support this. So even if I press, say, tab, which would normally make this a subchapter of this, you can see here that on the navigation pane they still have the same alignment. That means that they're still considered heading 1s, because that's what it says here, right? They're still heading 1s, so this is not a subchapter of this. So whenever you want a subchapter to properly be reflected as a subchapter of another section, you need that subchapter to be formatted as a heading 2 instead of a heading 1. So let's try and continue using trying to do it the wrong way with using the numbered list instead of the multi-level list, and let's try and change this into a heading 2 to see what happens. So if you change that into a heading 2, you see that it loses its numbering. So even if you activate it again, it's still considered part of the same number list as this chapter, although the navigation pane already considers it to be in a different level. That is, this thinks that this is a subchapter of this, but the number doesn't think so. So this is all the wrong way of doing this. So we're gonna just scrap this. Let me just Control Z the whole thing, and now we're gonna be using a multi-level list instead. So if you click on this icon right here, you're gonna see all these options for multi-level lists, but the ones we actually want are the ones that are indexed or related to different heading styles. So if you look carefully, like this list here, like this, and this, it doesn't recognize different heading styles. It's not like prepared to deal with different heading styles. So you're gonna select this one right here as standard, but we can define our own, and we're gonna be covering that as well. So let's start off with this one. So as you click on that, Word promptly realizes that, well, since this is a heading 1 and this is also a heading 1, they need to be they need to have the same order of numbering. So if this is 1, this is 2. But then if you click here on this heading and press tab, one thing magical happens. So as you press tab, not just the heading changed, like the heading formatting changed, so this is not bold anymore, but also the numbering and indentation changed. So this is now a proper subheading of this chapter, of this heading right here. And then whatever changes they want done aesthetically, say, well, this is not bold anymore, but I do want it to be bold, so just make it bold. You can either do that by through Command or Control B, or just clicking here on the Home tab, and then whatever changes that you want, like made permanently to heading 2 styles throughout your document. That is, if you want all of the future heading 2 styles to look just like this, you're gonna select your heading. So I'm gonna select this, and I'm gonna right click under heading 2 right here on the top, and I'm gonna click under update heading 2 to match selection. That is, I'm changing my heading 2 to match whatever I did with this heading 2 right here. Right. So now that we have that covered, let's just try and put in different headings in our document, different like levels of heading in our document, and then make a table of content out of it. So I'm gonna let's see, let's title this one Aptent. I'm gonna make that into a heading 3, and I'm gonna just copy the formatting of this. Oh. Right. Okay, so that's a heading 3. And then let me just generate a new paragraph. Oh. This paragraph right here is gonna be some. Oh. Right. Oh, actually I'll make this into a heading 1 again. Yeah, cool. Now I have 2 heading 1s, 1 heading 2, and 1 heading 3. Now, whenever you want to insert a table of contents, you're gonna go up here. Since my table of contents is gonna be like before the text, it makes sense to add a new page here, right? And shift this page down. So to insert a page, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can either click here at the start of the first chapter and just click under blank page, or you can just add a page break through the shortcut. It has the same effect. So to add a page break, you're gonna press Control Return or Command Return, right? Right, so I just press Command Return. That added a new blank page here, and our table of contents is going to be inserted right before the page break symbol here. So you're going to go under References, you're going to click under Table of Contents, and you're going to click under either under any of these examples like templates, or we can do it our own. So for now, let's use the templates. So let's try this one. So as you insert this table of contents, you see that all of the keywords, that is all the headings, were put together in this list. And then now to go to those headings or to go to those sections, all you need to do is just click on them. So one interesting thing to note about this table of contents is that regardless of how we formatted our headings in the text, that is regarding all the formatting that it shows here in the text, the formatting shown on the table of contents, it's its own, right? So we can we could show whatever font style, size, spacing that we wanted on the table of contents, which in a way doesn't necessarily needs to reflect what it shows on our text. And all the changes that you want seen in the table of contents needs to be done before you actually insert the table of contents. That's really important. So what that means is, if I selected this whole table of contents and wanted to change to a different style, say if I didn't like this font style and size and change it to, say, I don't know, a very different one, let's see, like Colonna or Chalk Duster. Let's use this one, Chalk Duster, and then change it to a size 14, for instance. Made it look like that, and I'm gonna change this one as well to Allegria, and then make it bigger. Right. So if I want to change it to look like this instead, and then for some reason, you know, after you added some more content to your document and updated this to, you know, update the numbers, you would click under update table, you would click under update entire table, and this is what happens. So all the formatting changes that we did to the list came back to being what it was before. One alternative though is that you can update just the page numbers. So if you update just the page numbers, that won't have any effect on the changes that you did. However, if you added one extra chapter here, like any chapter at all, like say let's make this into a heading 1, right? Ooh. And then in here updated just the numbers, that new heading doesn't show up in here, right? So you would be forced to update the entire table, and then when you do so, you lose all of your changes. So the wisest move to do here is to delete this table of contents, and whenever you're inserting yours through references and table of contents, make sure that you have everything that you want from start. So if you go to table of contents, custom table of contents, you can do your own and make sure everything is going to be to your liking. So this is just the format, so this doesn't matter really much. We can start off by taking the format from the template, which is the one we were using before, and then we can modify that to our own, give it our own personal touch. So this is pretty much gonna select how many levels your table of contents is gonna support. So all of these standard table of contents only support up to 3 levels. So say that our document is really extensive and it doesn't have up to 2 subchapters, it has more than that. So say that it has up to 5 subchapters. So I'm gonna include up to heading 6, and I'm gonna modify the font size used for them. So this right here, TOC1, is table of contents heading 1, table of contents heading 2, 3, and so on. Okay, so let's say I want to change the, like, since in our example we only have 1, 2, and 3, say that I want to change the third one, because the third one, it's not even bold here, you see. So we're gonna click on modify, we're gonna make it bold, and we're gonna increase the size, actually not the size, we're gonna change the style. So you're gonna click on the format right here on the bottom, you're gonna go under font, and let's change that into, let's see, this one. I don't even know what this one is like. Oh, let's see here, looks like this. So let's change it to a different one. Let's change it to Farisi, or even Gurmukhi, what's a good, yeah, let's change it to Gurumukhi. I'll increase the size a little bit, make it 12. I'm gonna do all caps, hidden, strike through. Yeah, let's do it strike through just to make our change very noticeable. And then I'm gonna change the font color as well. I'm gonna make it red. All right. So this is gonna be my heading 3 style, and then I'm gonna press OK. Okay, cool. So there we go. All of our changes are applied, and you see here that the heading, the third heading style, the heading 3, it's definitely what we set out to be. So whenever you have your table of contents done and you want to add a name of the table of contents, it's always separate from the actual table, so it doesn't act like a heading. So you can just hit return at the start at the top of your table of contents, just to shift it down, and then type it in here like table of contents, and then you can format this one to your own liking without having to worry about, you know, having the proper size or anything.